Welcome to The Deep Dive. We're the place where we really get into the most fascinating sources, pull them apart, and find the insights you need.
That's the goal.
So today, we're starting with like a sound that if you've heard the track, you instantly know it.
Yeah.
That prepaid collect call intro.
Yeah, sets a real tone.
It really does. It signals something, raw, unfiltered is coming. We are diving deep into GloRilla's song Typa. And this isn't just a song asking for a partner. It kind of demands a very specific type.
Yeah.
It's got this like uncompromising vision.
Absolutely.
So we're going to go way beyond just the surface level today. We'll unpack the lyrics, the emotional stuff, the production choices, and really figure out what this track reveals about GloRilla's unique take on, well, love and relationships.
Right.
I'm honestly really excited to get into this one. It feels so raw, so honest, and definitely surprising in parts. It gives this amazing window into a very specific cultural context,
Totally. And I think it might challenge some ideas about what love is supposed to look like. And that's really the core of Typa, isn't it? It's more than just like a modern love song. It's almost a redefinition.
How so?
Well, the real cleverness isn't just the honesty, though that's huge. It's how it suggests that, maybe for some people, that deep emotional connection. It only really happens after you've set up these really strong boundaries.
Okay, boundaries of independence.
Independence, practical alignment, yeah. It kind of flips the usual romantic script, Yeah. It backs up that idea that love can be, like she says, a grown man business built on real, practical stuff.
Interesting.
So yeah, we're going to dig into all those layers of meaning, that mix of being tough, but also kind of vulnerable.
Okay, let's do it. To really get Typa, you kind of have to face that opening head on, right? Where GloRilla just lays it all out, no messing around.
Zero hesitation.
She dives straight into these really explicit details. First in that spoken intro, then bam, verse 1 just cements it. The treats she wants, super specific.
Like a checklist.
Totally. Like she says a trappin ass, which, means someone deep in street economics. Then dark-skinned country ass, got it out the mud, emphasizing those self-made woots overcoming hardship.
Right. The struggle is part of the appeal.
Exactly. Then it gets physical. 6'1", old thug ass, talk real slick, big dick, big gun ass, pick a bitch up when we fuck, old strong ass nigga. I mean, it's intense.
It really is. It's a full picture.
And it's not just the street stuff or the physical. There's this huge focus on money, success, making them plays, stacking that pape, getting money, saving cash, followed by buy me whatever I want ass nigga.
Financial stability, but also generosity within that context.
Yeah, loyalty's massive too. Switched up on the gang ass nigga. And that's street cred. Street cred's good always ass nigga. It's like this isn't just about finding a guy. It's about finding someone who fits this entire world.
And what's so fascinating, like you said, is that sheer authenticity. It's just completely uncompromising.
Yeah.
This isn't some, vague pop song love story. It is a precise, detailed blueprint of what she needs.
Right.
And those descriptors, they paint this really vivid picture, don't they? A partner who's self-made, strong, knows how to handle money, and is rooted in that specific lifestyle.
Totally.
And what's striking is how direct it is. It completely subverts those like traditional fairy tale romance ideas.
Oh, absolutely.
She's presenting a partner who doesn't just like compliment her, but matches her. Matches her independence, her strength. It's like finding someone with the same energy, the same hustle, who gets her world.
It's such a strong statement of autonomy, isn't it? But, for some people listening, maybe that level of independence sounds almost transactional, like it's missing that traditional closeness.
That's a fair point. How does she square that with the love part?
Well, yeah, and then there's that line she repeats, which feels key. I ain't in your business and yeen in mines, nigga. Yeah, we both outside. That's my type of nigga. It's like their code.
And it really gets to the heart of it, doesn't it? What kind of relationship is this?
Yeah, what is it?
That line, it basically sets the whole tone. It's a partnership built on mutual independence, respect for each other's space, their autonomy, not that traditional possessiveness or needing to know everything.
Right, not needing constant updates.
Exactly. It's about sharing space, being out in the world together. Are we both outside? but not necessarily sharing every single secret or needing total transparency. It's like two strong people keeping their own lives, but choosing to be together.
Okay, so it's more pragmatic.
Definitely suggests a pragmatic foundation. Yeah. Rather than purely emotional from the jump. And that connects to your point because maybe that independence is actually necessary for the intimacy she talks about later. It has to come first.
That's interesting because after laying out this really specific, almost tough type based on these non-negotiables, she brings in this surprising vulnerability. And this is where it gets really, really fascinating for me. We go from that raw, explicit stuff straight into the chorus. Love, never knew what I was missing, but I knew once we start kissing, I found it's so simple almost. Tender. Especially after the verses.
It hits differently, right?
Totally.
Yeah.
It kind of makes you rethink all those rom-coms, doesn't it?
Yeah.
She's basically saying, forget the flowers, show me your hustle and your street smarts.
Huh. Yeah, it's a definite shift, a very intentional, emotional shift in tone.
Okay.
That chorus, it's simple, like you said, tender. It creates this huge contrast with the verses, which are so boastful and explicit.
Yeah.
It shows this layer of vulnerability, like a sense of discovery. Maybe she didn't even expect to find that feeling, like a pleasant surprise.
Right.
And then you get that spoken interlude from the YouTube transcript, which really pulls back the curtain, gives you that deeper emotional look.
Yeah, read that part.
She says, Fisha, have you ever been with somebody that makes you want to be a better version of yourself, but you scared to show them the worst parts of yourself? If you don't show them who you really are, how will you know if they truly love you?
Wow. That's deep.
It really is. It shows this tension, right? Wanting to be vulnerable, but being scared to show your true, maybe messy self.
The fear of rejection.
Exactly, that fear of abandonment. But it's balanced with this, underlying self-worth. You hear it when she thinks, if he dip, you ain't meant to stay.
Like, I'll be okay.
Yeah. And then she drops that line, love is a grown man business.
That one hits hard. What does that mean, do you think?
I think it implies that real love takes maturity, understanding, a certain emotional resilience. It acknowledges that relationships are complex, they have challenges.
Not a fairy tale.
Not at all. It's about taking responsibility for your feelings, knowing your own worth, and dealing with the reality of it all, being grown about it.
So putting it all together.
Yeah.
What's the overall message about love here? How does that mix of toughness and tenderness work?
Well, it feels like she's saying, look, I have my list, my non-negotiables.
The
type. But she says, when those things are met, then there's this profound, maybe unexpected emotional connection. And that connection makes me want to be better, even though showing my real self is kind of scary.
Okay, I see that.
Yeah, so it suggests her type isn't just about looks or lifestyle. It's about finding someone who actually complements her strength, her independence, someone she can have that different, maybe deeper emotional thing with.
So the toughness sets the rules.
Kind of. It sets the boundaries, the prerequisites. But the tenderness shows what's possible within those boundaries. It's a really pragmatic, realistic view of love, I think. It acknowledges the outside requirements and the inside emotional shifts.
Being real, flaws and all.
Exactly. And knowing that real love isn't about finding someone perfect, but someone who accepts your authentic self, even the scary parts.
Okay, let's get into verse 2 then.
Yeah.
Because that seems to define this partnership even more.
Mm-hmm.
She has lines like, I be in my section, he be in his, we can go bottle for bottle in this bitch. Strip club stunt, I'm a stun harder. We can go dollar for dollar in this bitch.
Yeah, that paints a picture.
It really does. Like two power players. Maybe not merging, but kind of running side by side, even competing a bit playfully.
Right. And connecting that to the bigger picture, it just hammers home that idea, doesn't it? A relationship between two powerful, independent people.
Definitely.
They exist in parallel. They stunt hard together. They keep their own domains, my section, his section. That's the autonomy, their individual success.
But they still connect.
Oh, yeah. They connect through these shared experiences, like lavish spending, enjoying things together. It's like celebrating shared success, but also that playful one-upmanship, a partnership of equals.
Where both can shine.
Exactly. Both can try to outdo the other with confidence, with wealth, and those specific phrases like, he, Mr. Get It Done, I'm Mrs. One of One.
What does this mean?
Well, Mr. Get It Done suggests he's capable, efficient, makes things happen, and Mrs. One of One. She's unique, irreplaceable. They're both exceptional, but in their own ways.
Okay.
And then you get that really modern, almost funny line. He got me sprung.com.
Huh, yeah.
It's such a current way to say she's totally into him, right? Head over heels, but still, like, within her own frame of reference.
Yeah, it still sounds like her.
Exactly. And crucially, that theme of non-possessiveness comes back strong. I ain't stressing on you, you ain't stressing on me, nigga. I don't want to put you on a leash. Fuck that. You a dog, I'm a dog. We can keep it in the streets.
Wow. Okay.
It just completely rejects any idea of controlling each other. Their bond is based on freedom, understanding each other's nature, maybe even their flaws. You a dog, I'm a dog.
So it's understanding respect for how they are.
Yeah, respect for their shared experiences, how they navigate the world they're in, not trying to tame each other. And, this kind of unapologetic honesty, this demand for a specific type, it has real roots.
Where from?
In Southern rap, definitely. Especially Memphis rap, where GloRilla's from. That authenticity, talking about your real lived experience, is absolutely central.
Okay, so it's part of a tradition.
Very much so. She's not just listing personal preferences. She's kind of echoing and amplifying a perspective that often gets overlooked or maybe misunderstood in mainstream love stories. And I think that's why it hits so hard with her audience and why it challenges broader ideas of what a strong woman wants.
That makes sense. It's fascinating how those lyrics, that whole attitude, is just perfectly supported by the sound, the production. We know the producers are TB Hits, Cortland Jabray, and Leather Jacket. How does the music itself and her delivery really boost that feeling, that confidence, that independence, but also that emotion underneath?
Oh, the production is key. It provides this perfectly gritty, like, no-frills backdrop. It lets her voice, her unfiltered message, just cut right through.
How so?
Well, think about the signature 808s. They're not just heavy. They have this street-level feel and authenticity. They ground her demands with this real weight. And notice how sparse the melody and the other instruments are. It's quite minimalist in places.
Yeah, it's not cluttered.
Exactly. It leaves all this space for her conversational flow. Every statement she makes just lands hard because there's nothing getting in the way. It's not delicate music. It's meant to be undeniable, just like her message.
And her voice itself. You mentioned her flow, but what about, like, her style of delivery? Is it just being direct?
It's more than just directness. Her vocal delivery, her performance style is absolutely central. She has this rhythmic swagger, it's almost like spoken word sometimes.
Okay.
And her pauses, they feel really intentional. They're not just breaks. They create emphasis. They let certain phrases like, big dick, big gun ass, land with maximum force.
Yeah, you notice those lines.
Definitely. And there's often this slight, like, sneer or maybe a playful boast in her tone. It adds layers. It makes the declarations feel serious, but also super confident, self-assured. You feel like she's not playing a character. She's just speaking her truth.
Right. And what about, like, literary devices? Are there things like that going on?
Oh, absolutely. If you look closely, the repetition is huge.
That's my type of nigga.
Exactly. Repeating that phrase makes it incredibly powerful rhetorically. It hammers home the main theme, makes it unforgettable.
Yeah, it sticks in your head.
And the imagery is so vivid, right? From trappin' ass to old strong ass nigga. It creates this instant clear picture of her world and the man she wants.
Very visual.
And the language itself, the colloquialisms, the slang, using terms like yeen and mines, which, means you are in mine, or keep it P, meaning keep it professional or private. That grounds the song in this really authentic street vernacular.
Makes it feel real.
Totally. All those choices, the repetition, the imagery, the slang, they contribute massively to the song's raw, authentic feel. It reflects her background, her artistic journey. She just speaks her truth straight up, no filter. It's really a masterclass in crafting a clear, unvarnished message.
So, okay, wrapping this all up, Typa really isn't just another track, is it? It feels like this powerful and actually quite nuanced statement about love, independence, self-worth, all delivered with this just completely unapologetic honesty. It feels like she's defining love entirely on her own terms, throwing out the old rule book.
Exactly. It really challenges us, challenges us to look past the usual romantic ideals and maybe appreciate the strength and the vulnerability that can exist together in a truly independent kind of partnership.
Yeah.
It's like a testament to just owning what you want, owning your truth, even if it seems unconventional to other people.
Right.
The song really asks us to think about what it means to be fully yourself inside a relationship. And maybe our own definitions of love broad enough to include different ways of being together.
We'd love for you, listening, to think about what you found most compelling or maybe most surprising about GloRilla's definition of love here, her specific type. What can digging into this song teach us about how relationships actually form and work today? Maybe it does all circle back to that really powerful line. Love is a grown man business. It makes you think, how much authenticity, how much independence do you prioritize in your own connections?
Yeah, it definitely makes you wonder, right? Are we sometimes too quick to judge ways of loving that don't fit the storybook narrative? GloRilla gives us a really bold alternative.
We would genuinely love to hear your thoughts on this deep dive. What stood out to you? Let us know. Share your insights, your comments with us.